This is a little weird what's going on right now. I'm sitting on the curb in not the United Kingdom and I'm going to be talking today about the fact that the Aether story is basically going to be ending in 2 maps time, as confirmed, I believe, by Craig Houston himself on stream yesterday for Treyarch. Where to begin? I've been following this story for 10 years. I've been really passionate about the story for 10 years. And just hearing the words spoken that the Aether story is basically getting these next 2 maps, and then, as far as I'm guessing, that's going to be it forever. It's weird. It feels very strange. I mean, I've been following this story for basically half my life, pretty much, and it's an odd feeling to have followed the game and the story for that long, and then to hear there are 2 more maps, and then that's probably going to be the last we hear of all these characters that we've come to know and love so well. And I've seen a lot of you guys in response to the stream tweeting me and saying, Milo, I want to hear your thoughts on this because it's so weird. It's just a weird thing to have to kind of grapple with and get used to. And it sort of sounds a bit overdramatic, right? Being like, oh, it feels so strange, this story. I've been a big fan of it for so long. But genuinely, it's going to be so bizarre having Treyarch market their next game and no mention being made of Richtofen. That's just going to be weird. And that same weirdness is going to apply to all aspects of zombies from here on out. Chaos is obviously a story that some people like and some people don't. And it's really polarizing, I would say, to the extent that I don't really want to comment on whether I think that this is a good thing or not that Aether is ending. I would like it not to, because I like Aether. But then on the flip side, even I can acknowledge the fact that all good things come to an end, and the Aether story couldn't conceivably go on forever. It just wouldn't really make sense if that happened. And it would become so convoluted, and it would trip over itself so many times, that maybe it would lose the magic that I feel like it has had for a really long time. Maybe. So I find myself sitting on the sidewalk in LA, pondering the fact that these next 2 maps, one of which is going to be Nuketown, of all maps for them to choose, Nuketown? Like, really? These next 2 maps are going to be so pivotal and cover so much ground that we're going to go from a point... That's a really cool ass car. We're going to go for... That's a less cool car. We're going to go from a point where we've just broken out of the cycle of the last 10 years at Blood of the Dead, and then we've got Classified, which is like a tiny little smidgen of time where we hear a teeny tiny bit of what's to come, and then these next 2 maps are going to attempt to completely characterize Monty as a bad guy and also have us take him down, and also feel like the ribbon has been tied neatly and the characters have found resolution to their own individual story arcs and the arc of the crew as a whole, and the universe has been set right, and the giant radios have, like, they just can't do it. How are they going to make sense of the giant radios in 2 maps? Are they going to release a podcast for DLC 4? Like, what are they going to do? Because there's so much that we don't understand right now that is really interesting stuff that I feel like surely can't end that soon, and yet it's going to. So it's weird. My thoughts on it are quite mixed right now. I don't think that it's necessarily the be-all end-all worst thing that's ever going to happen to zombies, simply because of the fact that Chaos has a lot of potential. Ancient Evil showed that for sure, and I think we all knew the Aether had an expiration date. I just didn't think it would be in 2 maps' time. I really didn't think it would be that soon. So, as much as I wish I could make this video and say I'm really excited that they're finally going to get kind of closure for all the story arcs that we've had kind of waving about in the wind all this time, I also just really feel like they've got a lot of work to do, man. And I'm hopeful, and maybe this is a naive hope, but I'm hopeful that this is being done for the right reasons. I'm hopeful that this is the way that it was always going to be. I'm hopeful that there was never a plan to do more, that they had to scale back. I'm hopeful that this was intended and all is going as planned in this kind of area, because if not, then that breaks my heart that we've had so much interesting stuff poured onto our plates over the years for the Aether story, and if that was then cut short for silly reasons now, it would be a real shame. It would be a real loss for Call of Duty as a game franchise, really, in my opinion. It's just, it's wild. It's really wild, and I think it is quite sad. Even if it's for the right reasons, and even if it's a good decision, I'm gonna miss Aether, man. And somehow, Nuketown is gonna have us go from basically not knowing what this next branch of the story is gonna be, to knowing full well that there's one more map and then that's it, and the light goes off, and the door gets locked, and the key gets thrown away. Weird feeling. Very weird. So I wanted to talk about this on the channel because people were asking me to, and I just had to share my thoughts because it is an unusual one. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. I'll be making some other zombies videos this week and also streaming Borderlands tomorrow, I think, probably as well. So exciting stuff on the way. And lots of introspection to be processed and had in the next couple days as this news sinks in. This is the end. Peter McCain, Sally, George, Richtofen, Takio, Nikolai, Dempsey, Maxis, Monty, the Shadow Man. All these characters are wrapping up. And then we're basically never going to hear from them again, apart from probably as kind of facial appearances and things like Blackout. Dang. The end of an era. The end of an era in my life, and the end of an era in the history, long and storied as it may be, of Call of Duty. And it's definitely going to take some getting used to. Yeah.